Okay, this is method 16, Santa Fe plaster, and what's meant to replicate is kind of that old Adobe Southwest finish you see a lot of. And it's an easy finish. It's about 2 to 3 steps depending on how intricate and detailed you want to get with it. And the best part is if you don't have a lot of experience with a hawk and trowel, this is a great place to start. And you can really adjust the colors very easily to achieve, you know, either these rich, deeper colored looks or something much more neutral that can go in a lot of different spaces. And I'm just going to need a weenie roller setup, a hawk and trowel, Faux Effects sandstone, Proceed smooth absorbent, and then a few colors. I'm going to need Faux Effects aquacolor yellow ochre, I'm going to need aquacolor burnt sienna, and faux color antique mahogany. Okay, to start with this method, the first step is we're going to put on some sandstone. Sandstone texture is manufactured by Faux Effects, and we're going to be rolling it on in this case, and it comes pretty thick. It's meant, you can trowel it, you can roll it, you can brush it, but the first thing I'm going to do, and what I've done here, is mixed about 20% water, so you can just take it out of the bucket into a new bucket. It gives you a little more room, throw some water in there, and then drill it, and you'll get this nice thinner consistency that you can pick up with a roller. So I'm just going to load up my tray, and then we'll start rolling out our finish. Okay, so I've got my sandstone in this tray. I'm using a 3/8 inch nap roller, and it takes a second to get the sandstone loaded on there, but it'll pick it up and then you're ready to go. Now, you know, this represents my wall. I've got it taped off, so in a real working environment, I just take a chip brush and like paint, just paint in all my edges, and then I can start rolling. Sandstone, when you water it down, it's like a paint, but it's got like this kind of aggregate to it. And what's nice about it is it works as a really good basis for doing like kind of rustic organic trowel finishes, because that aggregate's going to prevent me from being able to trowel anything consistently over the wall. So it's a good place to start. Now when I roll this on, because I'm doing something organic, I want to keep all my tracks vertical. I don't want to go randomly around, because in nature a lot of things erode vertically. And I don't want to start in the same place every time, because this aggregate, where the first place the roller hits the wall, it's going to go on the thickest. So if I'm consistently hitting the same spot as I work across my space, I'm going to get like this heavy area and then light areas. So you want to randomly kind of hop around your wall surface so you have thick and thin areas just nice and randomly around the wall. So we'll just cover the whole surface with one good coat of this. So you want full coverage. Okay, for rolling sandstone, I get about 180 square feet per gallon. Okay, I've got my first coat of sandstone rolled on, it's dry. This rough aggregate on there's got some sharp, like high stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and knock it down with the trowel, so it's gonna make it a little easier for my next step. Okay, for the next step in this finish, we're gonna use sandstone by Faux Effects, as well as faux cream color yellow ochre. And we're going to do a mix of 12 ounces sandstone to 2 tablespoons of yellow ochre. And I'm going to mix it up and then we'll start troweling it. Okay, so I've got my mix on my hawk. I'm going to trowel it on. I'm right-handed, so I'm always going to start in my left upper corner and work to the right. Okay, and what we're going to do is just kind of a random skip trowel technique. All right, so I'm going to load up my trowel. And I'm going to put my material on full coverage, and then I'll do an area, and then I can come back and kind of manipulate it, give it the movement that I want, because the next coat, anything I do on this coat, the movement's going to kind of read through that one, because we're going to do a skim coat. Okay, so that's about 120 square feet a gallon sandstone in that method. Okay, now that my sandstone is dry, I'm just going to give it a light sand with a 220 grit sandpaper. Okay, for the next step on this finish, we're going to mix up some plaster, and I'm going to use Proceed Smooth Absorbent. I'm going to take 32 ounces of that and mix it with 5 tablespoons of yellow ochre aqua color, 10 tablespoons of burnt sienna aqua color, and 10 tablespoons of antique mahogany faux color. So I'll get that mixed up and we'll start troweling. Okay, so I've got my hock and trowel, and what I'm going to do is just skim this over the surface, working from left to right because I'm right-handed. And you want to keep that line moving so that you don't get a hard line. Just keep your whole line of plaster moving. You're going to start in the upper hand corner at the ceiling. So I'm going to load my trowel, and as I skim this over the top, the DNA that I built with our last coat of troweled sandstone is really going to pop through and create the interest. Okay, for the final layer on this, all we're going to do is take our Modern Masters Dead Flat Varnish and apply 2 coats of that. You'll notice with the smooth absorbent, you can probably see some of this random troweling glare that's coming off, and that's just, it's kind of a directional plaster, so depending on which way you trowel it, it's going to refract the light. So I want to get rid of that and just get this whole thing dead flat. So to get rid of that, I'm just going to use this varnish and it'll even out my sheen. Okay, so I got my tray set up with my 3/8 inch nap roller, and just going to go ahead and roll 2 coats. Okay, so I got my first coat rolled on, and you'll notice it looks all milky, almost like I ruined my finish. But this stuff is really good at drying down completely clear. So in a few minutes it's going to start to go away, and I'm going to end up with a really nice flat finish. Okay, with the dead flat varnish, I'm going to get about roughly 400 square feet per coat. So if I'm doing 2 coats, I'm going to get 200 square feet total finish per gallon.